When I say Kidz Bop, what's the first thing that you think of? Overly cheery children's music? An excessive amount of censorship? That mom crashing out in that one meme.
Sorry, but you're calling me a bitch, so set an example.
I'm sorry. My kids can't hear me calling you a bitch. They can't hear me because they're listening to Kidz Bop.
These are all reasonable conclusions to come to, but how about gold and platinum certified albums, world tours, and international success? Kidz Bop with a Z, a compilation of covers sung by kids for kids, has all of these things, and yet also has a reputation for being cringy. It promises clean lyrics and age-appropriate themes parents can trust.
No more saying cuss words, guys! It's inappropriate and violent!
But in censoring and Kidz Bopifying hit songs from the radio, it's become infamous for making popular songs worse. It's essentially music for helicopter parents and their homeschooled children, rarely anyone's first listening choice if they were given the option.
This is one CD that the kids and I can listen to together.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to create a safe listening environment for kids, but is Kidz Bop the best way to do it? Do the kids who aren't allowed to pick their own music while riding in the minivan ever feel like they're missing out? Does it even actually work in successfully protecting their innocence? And what about the kids on the CDs? Who are the Kidz Bop kids? Is their music really that bad? Is it maybe even kinda good? Or is it just something average in between? Yes, I did just ask a lot of questions, and to find the answers, we'll have to start at the beginning, dating back to a whole 25 years ago. Kidz Bop is described by its founders as a very simple concept. Myself and the other founder each have kids, and we thought to ourselves, wouldn't kids really love hearing kids sing popular songs? I guess it doesn't get more straightforward than that. Co-creators Cliff Chenfeld and Craig Balsam originally were in the business of selling 70s hits compilations through TV commercials in the 90s. It was a relatively niche market, but they produced their own ads and their own independent record label, Razor & Tie. In other words, with virtually no development costs and other people's songs, they discovered there was easy money to be made in music that people already liked. So they moved on to other songs that they could repackage. Current pop songs, but for kids. Despite being so simple of a concept, at the time there was nothing else like Kidz Bop. Clearly, compilation albums were already a thing, and so were children's albums that featured child singers. But the specific format of a compilation of covers of modern radio hits sung by and for kids was a brand new formula. As Balsam put it, we needed to split the difference between Barney and Britney, or Elmo and Eminem. So what was the first Kidz Bop album like? Well, it was certainly different, as its producers intended, and not just different from other kids' music of the time, but different from good music. That is to say that you could tell that Razor & Tie was mostly in the business of compiling songs, not actually recording and producing them. But record and produce they still did. The first ever Kidz Bop dropped in 2001, a double disc or double cassette with a total of 30 songs sold via cheesy infomercial. The kids in the ad seem to like it, at least.
This music really gets me pumped.
Fun fact, this is actually just a random local summer camp that the founders drove to, asked to film at, and the kids, who were all campers at the summer camp, were paid in exposure. The later version of the album that was sold in stores had a consolidated 18 tracks on just one disc, but still included a range of popular genres: country, Latin pop, pop punk, whatever One Week by the Bare Naked Ladies counts as, and hit artists like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Smash Mouth, Christina Aguilera, and Britney Spears. All sung by kids for kids.
It's made just for kids, newly recorded from the Kidz Bop Kids.
An infamous tagline that was basically a big fat lie. Okay, it's not a total lie, but for a record named Kidz Bop, there is a noticeable lack of kids on these initial tracks. Remember like a minute ago when that guy asked that fateful question? Wouldn't kids really love hearing kids sing popular songs? They might, but it's kinda hard to answer your own question when the kids barely even get a chance to sing. The children that are scarcely featured on each of these songs are designated to backing vocals and are largely overshadowed by the random, unprofessional adult singer that takes the lead. Sure, everyone is technically on key and everything, but whether it's the adults or the kids singing, none of it sounds all that great. I would love nothing more than to play some of these songs for you so that you can hear how not good they are, but I'm positive that it would immediately result in... I don't know how these other YouTubers do it, I get flagged for everything. So the best I can do is this, a medley of isolated, random, non-matching vocal snippets, which is about as pleasant of a listening experience as just playing the actual songs. Trust me.
All the small things.
5 days since you tackled me, 3 days to the afternoon.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm blue, dabba-dee-dabba-die.
You believe in life after love.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Dabba-dee-dabba-die, dabba-dee-dabba-die.
That I'm serious.
Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like sing on tantric, like Snickers guaranteed to satisfy.
Carry me home.
Dabba-dee-dabba-die, dabba-dee-dabba-die.
This music really gets me pumped.
The first Kidz Bop album was also different from itself, or at least the reputation that the brand would garner later on. The concept was still more or less a work in progress, and so the over-sanitization and censorship, one of the most infamous aspects of Kidz Bop, is basically non-existent on this first album. The main reason that there is no censorship, aka replacement of lyrics, is that the tracks didn't require it. There are no curse words in any of the songs to change. Of the 18 tracks, about half of them are love songs. My Love Is Your Love by Whitney Houston, What a Girl Wants by Christina Aguilera, Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. And in itself, this isn't too weird. Love songs are not taboo for children to listen to, but some of those love songs can range from sounding mildly suggestive in their lyrics to being sensual, emotional ballads. In Shania Twain's That Don't Impress Me Much, she sings,
"So you got the looks, but have you got the touch? Now, don't get me wrong, yeah, I think you're alright, but that won't keep me warm in the middle of the night."
And there are these lines in Angel of Mine by Monica.
"Last night, the way you moved is still on my mind, every breath that I take, the love that we make."
Touching, making love? I know it's hardly explicit and it might seem like I'm nitpicking now, but it's worth noting the standard that Kidz Bop was setting in its initial album, considering some of the lyrics they bothered replacing in later years. Just wait, you'll see. Arguably, Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca includes some of the most inappropriate language for children, and yet still went completely un-Kidz Bopified. Its lyrics mention addiction, champagne, taking your clothes off, a bullet to the brain, and waking up in a cheap hotel after a girl slips you a sleeping pill and steals your money. Sure, some of the lyrics are probably meant to be more figurative than literal, but the whole pitch is that all the songs are completely family-friendly, so I feel like the average Kidz Bop parent, aka someone who feels so strongly about appropriate language that they bought a Kidz Bop album, would have some qualms about this track being included, never mind being left completely as is. In conclusion, one of the founders had this to say about the introduction of Kidz Bop. It kind of takes the edge off of the songs a little bit so that parents and kids both feel comfortable with it. If by take the edge off they meant make the songs terrible, then yeah, I guess they got the job done. Otherwise, Kidz Bop 1 is about 10% kids, 20% of the original bop, and 100% of the original edge. Am I being too harsh? Maybe, but what do I know? Nothing, apparently, because this album still topped the Billboard Kids charts for 30 weeks upon release, was certified gold within a year, and whether it was initially meant to be a one-off album or not, the Kidz Bop brand was born. Naturally, after just under a year, Kidz Bop 2 entered the world in 2002. Released again with an extended total of 30 songs and a shortened 18-song tracklist, it has a well-rounded range of genres and artists featured in the mix. And with this second album, we get the first ever truly Kidz Bopified lyrics. As early as the second song, Get the Party Started by Pink.
I'll be burning rubber, you'll be kissing my ass.
Changes to
I'll be burning rubber. You'll be watching me pass.
But wait, there's more. In You Remind Me by Usher, the scandalous line,
till I found out she was on her creep. Ooh, she was sexing everyone, but me.
was changed to
Till I found out she was on her dream. Ooh, she was sassing everyone, and me.
And in Follow Me by Uncle Kracker,
I'm not worried about the ring you wear, cause as long as no one knows, then nobody can care.
changes to
I'm not worried about my ring you wear, cause if nobody knows about it, then nobody cares.
This one is interesting because it hardly changes the unsubtle adultery behind the lyrics, especially considering the next few lines are still unmodified.
You're feeling guilty, and I'm well aware, but you don't look ashamed. And baby, I'm not scared.
Continuing with the theme of altering the lyrics doesn't really change the whole song, there's Come On Over Baby by Christina Aguilera.
I'm not just talking about your sexuality, but I can't help myself when you put your hands on me.
Changes to
I'm not just talking about your personality, but I can't help myself when you put your arms around me.
To be fair, a lot of this song's raunchiness comes from Christina's sensual way of singing, but even with random adult lady number 4 doing a kind of poor job to imitate Christina,
I got something going on. Don't you keep me waiting all night long.
the rest of the lyrics still have a pretty suggestive undertone, but goes mostly unchanged.
Get close, get tight, one-on-one. I wanna go all night. You better cross the line. I'm gonna love you right. We could do exactly what you like. Don't you wanna be just you and me? We could do what comes so naturally. I wanna play that game with you, baby.
By far the most censored song, though, is I'm Real by Jennifer Lopez, specifically the Ja Rule Murder remix, which might give you some indication of how not family-friendly the original is.
Blowing back on this Mary Jane, I'm analyzing the game, and the game don't chose me to bring pain to bleep, bleep, and bleep hoes. They're one and the same.
Mary Jane, I'm just analyzing the game, and the name of the game. They're all just one and the same.
There are a good amount of other necessary changes too, but my favorite has to be
Hard lovin' and straight thuggin'.
which is altered to,
That's my lovin', and all my huggin'.
and then the whole entire rest of the verse is just deleted. They didn't even try. This track is one of the best and earliest examples of songs that really needed the Kidz Bop treatment the most, but also because of that maybe should have just been spared altogether. I mean, do none of the kids listening to these songs ever stop and wonder what they're singing along to? Questioning who Mary Jane is, or why everyone is so sassy? In this lies the inherent problem with Kidz Bopified lyrics. Censoring a song with lots of bad words and innuendos doesn't make it safe for kids, it often just makes the changes even more obvious, not unlike the Streisand effect. Craig Balsam nearly addresses this by noting that kids listen to something current and talk to their friends about it. So do Kidz Bop listeners ever hear the original versions of songs only to become more aware of how naughty its lyrics are? Or even worse, try to sing or reference the song with their non-Kidz Bop friends and then get horribly made fun of for confidently saying, "That's my lovin' and all my huggin'"? Balsam was also quoted as saying, "I think Kidz Bop turns kids onto music in a new way. They feel more connected and involved if they're listening to something current." He's like so close to getting the point. Music is very important for kids to feel connected with pop culture and their peers, but also with creativity and the world around them. Everything that kids are exposed to affects their development in some way, including the music they listen to. If someone never gets the chance to hear how a song was intended to sound, it's not just weirdly controlling, but also limits their exploration of music. Because music often doesn't just have a sound, but a look, a lifestyle, self-expression, and culture that surrounds certain genres. Depending on what music a child is naturally drawn to and interacts with, it could change their entire personality, who they surround themselves with, and or the trajectory of their life. Unless, perhaps, they only had the Kidz Bop versions of that same music and then never made that discovery because the songs they heard were not good.
The driver almost hit my kids. They can't hear me because they're listening to Kidz Bop.
I know it sounds melodramatic, but it is that serious because music is that powerful. So yes, Kidz Bop Craig, kids should be introduced to new music, but in a way that doesn't downgrade the original work and stifle their experience of it. Unless they're constantly monitored, I just can't see a way that Kidz Bop actually benefits its young listeners, at least not in a way that can't be achieved by other kid-friendly music, like real, professionally made music, not watered-down boiled chicken equivalents of covers. So there are all the problems, or at least my personal grievances. But despite these flaws and their varying degrees of importance, Kidz Bop didn't just continue, but thrived. The second album topped the Billboard Kids charts again for 17 weeks, was certified gold within months, and it was on to the next album even quicker than the last. And from 2002 onward, the censorship, sometimes justified but always corny, makes a consistent appearance too. That is, with the exception of a Kidz Bop Christmas that came out just a few months later, which was loaded with a festive and totally family-friendly tracklist. Like, I get it, Christina Aguilera makes provocative music, but why do Christmas songs need bad kids covers? Because someone will still buy it, I guess. Just like plenty of people did buy a Kidz Bop Christmas and also bought the next new release, Kidz Bop 3, including my own parents. Yes, for all my complaining about this terrible music, I too listened to it at some point in the early 2000s. I kind of only listened to 2 songs, Hey Baby and Complicated, which, as I listened back to them, were not exceptions to the Kidz Bop Ruined Songs rule.
What you get and you turn it into
But my sister and I would mostly play this CD on our family karaoke machine, where we'd plug in the microphone, turn the reverb all the way up, and sing over top of it. So, in my defense, I don't think anyone could hear how mediocre these songs were underneath our beautiful singing that drowned it out. And to be fair, this album did expose me to new music, but in a way that once I was old enough to illegally download stuff onto my MP3 player, just made me seek out the originals and never touch this CD again. Fortunately, my parents never bought another Kidz Bop album. Thanks, Mom and Dad. From 2003 onward, Kidz Bop really ramped up production. Just one album per year was not enough. Try an average of 4 to 5 per year, and not just main numbered records, but also including special collections. The main albums continued to feature popular hits from the charts, but the special albums dipped into all sorts of genres, holidays, and themes. Some of those special records from over the years that stand out to me include, in no particular order, Kidz Bop Gold, Kidz Bop Valentine, Ultimate Hits, Halloween Hits, Party Hits, Party Pop, Super Pop, Germany, the coolest Kidz Bop Christmas ever, Country, USA, more Kidz Bop Gold, Kidz Bop sings The Beatles, Kidz Bop sings Monster Ballads, Sports Jams, and Germany 2. In total, as of 2026, Kidz Bop has released
15
Christmas albums and
10
Halloween albums. I didn't even know there were that many dedicated Halloween songs. You flip it over and it's just 18 identical tracks of Monster Mash. And now, a brief recap of some of the weirdest lyrical changes, poor vocals, and wild track inclusions found throughout Kidz Bop 4 through 15. Bring Me to Life by Evanescence is one song that technically has altered lyrics. In the original, the vocalist screams the end of this line.
Don't let me die here. There must be something more.
But in the Kidz Bop version, the line is cut short because of this. Not screaming or a cool alt-rock sound, but like just a straight up bark. He's barking. It didn't even censor anything. Why did he do that? This album, Kidz Bop 9, spawned the infamous "We Belong Together" meme, where the singer really tries to match Mariah Carey's talent, especially in her high notes at the end of the song.
We belong together. It's still so hard to believe. Who can take your place? We belong together.
Commitment? And also on songs that were lyrically unchanged but still give me whiplash, there's Axel F, Crazy Frog. Lips of an Angel by Hinder is another track that I think is a very strange inclusion in general. The whole song is about secretly calling an ex that the singer wishes he was still dating and is very tempted to cheat with. And in all of that, only one word of one line is changed.
But girl, you make it hard to be faithful with the lips of an angel.
But girl, you make it hard to be grateful with the lips of an angel.
Good job, kids. This song is now 100% family friendly. Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne has some mentions of someone being delicious and addictive, which remain intact, but don't worry, they did cover up all of those naughty curse words.
Don't pretend. I think you know I'm damn precious. And hell yay, I'm the motherfucking princess.
Don't pretend. I think you know I am precious. And so yay, I'm the hey princess.
American Boy by Estelle and Kanye has some alterations that, again, don't actually censor anything and make me wonder why they were modified at all.
I just met this 5'7" guy who's just my type. I heard that Cali never rains and New York's wide awake. First, let's see the West End. I'll show you to my brethren.
I just met this 4'7" guy who's just my type. I heard that Cali never rains, and New York's all the way. First, let's see the West End. I'll show you to my best friends.
Why couldn't they say that New York is wide awake? Why did they make the guy a whole foot shorter? Like, to pretend he's a kid? It's so weird. And Hot and Cold by Katy Perry has a few changes, like this one.
You change your mind, like a girl changes clothes. Yeah, you PMS, like a bitch. I would know.
You change your mind, like someone changes clothes. Yeah, you change your mind, like someone I would know.
And this one.
We fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up.
We fight, we break up, we hug, we make up.
They won't even say the word kiss now. I can't understand where Kidz Bop draws the line. It's so confusing. We're up to 2009 now, and from this year onward, Kidz Bop continued producing about 4 to 5 albums per year. But also in 2009, with the release of Number 15, the kids were finally set free and allowed to sing. Kind of. About half the songs on this album are still primarily sung by adults, but the other half are performed by the first ever official group of Kidz Bop kids. Official meaning they're designated, named, and recurring cast members. This was the start of the brand actually doing what it says on the tin, or on the CD, since their tagline has always been, sung by kids for kids.
Sung by kids for kids.
With such a lucrative business model, cover a few top 40 songs, change the number on the album, rinse and repeat, one would think that Kidz Bop would never stray from this formula. And for the most part, they didn't. But merchandising opportunities come in all forms, and just because you primarily make music, that doesn't mean you can't also make cartoons, books, toys, and video games. Kidz Bop Comic Adventures was an animated online mini-series where the characters go to school and sing in a band together. The quality is about what you'd expect of something made exclusively for the Kidz Bop website in 2006.
Bueno.
Yeah!
so I won't rag on it too hard, but I do just have to draw some attention to this thing. This orange creature that's given no explanation in an otherwise seemingly normal universe. It's just called Lucas.
It's Lucas! Oh, Lucas.
And it talks like this.
We want to be in the pound. Let's do it. A decorative doorknob cover?
That's it. Just wanted to share. There are a total of 2 Kidz Bop video games, which is 2 more than I would have expected. One is the Kidz Bop Dance Party app for Leapfrog systems, which I also made a video on, by the way. It's a pretty rudimentary educational rhythm game with incredible graphics and FPS.
She's really good.
And the same title also had a port of sorts that was exclusive to the Wii, but it's a completely different game. It's essentially a kid-ified Just Dance clone, but slightly worse, since the only music is by Kidz Bop, and redundant, since a kids version of Just Dance also exists. But honestly, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would have. Other licensed merch mostly includes typical stuff you'd expect for a music brand: microphones, headphones, toy instruments, a karaoke machine. There was even this Fisher-Price Star Station that was actually a karaoke plug-and-play hybrid with a camera that puts a feed of your singing onto the TV. I don't know, it seems relatively creative and high-tech for a 2005 kids toy. And you can make it play regular songs instead of just the Kidz Bop cartridges it comes with, which makes it even better. If you wanted even more Kidz Bop on your TV, you could turn to Everyone's a Star, the one-off straight-to-home video special released in 2003. It's mostly just a regular sing and dance-along video, but this tape also has plot? Or something loosely resembling it. While lining up for a concert, the tickets sell out and the kids decide to put on their own concert instead. They then proceed to sing and dance to a few tracks while the kids lip-sync to the very adult voices throughout the songs. As a random standalone release, this is really insignificant to the overall history of Kidz Bop, but if I had to watch this B-grade acting and production, then so do you.
You can move like that.
My favorite parts were this unnecessary caption where they just lie about filming from a helicopter, and these 2 line deliveries.
Oh, for the love of, can't you kids find a nice highway to play on? Oh, this carrying on is bad for my business.
Yeah, show us that move again.
And there are still more miscellaneous merchandise options out there, ranging from Kidz Bop branded makeup and books to kids meal toy tie-in lines, but these don't hold a candle to the ultimate Kidz Bop purchasable experience: the tours. Kidz Bop embarked on its first live concert tour in 2007 with a main ensemble of 7 child performers and 2 adult singers, since they were, still in that era. It allegedly ran for just under 30 dates and was called the World Tour, but I can't actually find a list of the shows, and call me crazy, but I somehow doubt that Kidz Bop was performing internationally in 2007. The next tour didn't kick off until a whole 8 years later, and by then, Kidz Bop was almost a completely different brand. It still had all the Kidz Bopification that we know and love, but post-2010, they were making a real effort to right their previous wrongs and maintain a much stronger focus on the kids of Kidz Bop. Not only were the unprofessional adult singers retired after 2009, but the production of each album got a bit better too. If you can call excessive and abhorrent use of autotune better production. It's on every song, but it's most noticeable in some of the slower, quieter tracks, like these clips from Olivia Rodrigo's Vampire.
Sometimes when I close my eyes, 6 months of torture, you sold us some forbidden paradise, bleeding me dry like a real-life vampire.
I don't know, is this better than Random Adult Lady number 4? So who are the kids behind the autotune? Kidz Bop kids are scouted out via nationwide talent searches where kids just like you can audition to be part of the singing, dancing, and filming across all of the projects. for about 4 years or so until you grow up, and then you're replaced by younger talent. Some notable names that have been featured in Kidz Bop projects throughout the years include Ross Lynch, Becky G, Olivia Holt, and even Zendaya, whose song would later even be featured in the Leapfrog game. I'm sure that was her "I made it" moment. With even more promotion and focus on the kids and their performances, the Kidz Bop live shows kept on coming, and they're still actively touring now in the big 2026. The updated stage shows have choreography, props, coordinated wardrobes, and, of course, the kids at the forefront of it all. It is, at the end of the day, usually about 4 kids just dancing on a mostly empty stage. But they do sing live, and I guess if you largely listen to Kidz Bop, you probably aren't expecting a show with a super high production value anyway. This is no shade to the performers themselves, by the way. I'm sure they're all very hardworking and talented. It's just the grift of the overall product that gets me, and child performers also leave a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Drew Gooden has a great video that details one of these tours, including the actual audition process to become a Kidz Bop kid and documenting one of the concerts in 2019 for real and raw YouTube journalism. It's incredible. If only Kidz Bop was touring in Australia, I would also be very tempted to see a show to commit to the bit. My dreams are crushed. As of 2026, numbered Kidz Bop albums have technically reached the 50s, but the overall total is actually standing at 93 albums since 2001. The brand also recently celebrated its 25th anniversary with a live tour and a remastered re-release of the original first album, which, since I know you were wondering, you can buy pressed on vinyl. So let's round out this video with some of the newest and dumbest lyric changes in more modern Kidz Bop covers. There have been plenty of even greater, stupider changes made between 2009 and now, but again, there's almost 100 albums, it's just too many songs. If you want to hear even more, I recommend watching any of Jack's Film's videos in his series dedicated to this exact subject. They're really good.
I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. So many pretty girls around me and they waking up the rocket. Ain't my fault they all be jockin'. Players only. Come on.
I'm a dangerous woman with some money in my pocket. So many pretty ones around me and they know just how to talk it. Ain't my fault you all be joking. Hey kids, come on.
Okay, next thing. My life is a wet dream. I call it a sex scene. The back is a nice tease. I tried to escape. My life is an X-ray. I'm sorry, a sex tape. You only get one tape.
Okay, next thing. My life is a nice dream. My cool, it needs me. Sunshine, nice breeze. I tried to escape. My life in the best way. Here's the video day. You only get one tape.
You can kiss 100 boys in bars. Shoot another shot. Try to stop the feeling.
You can show 100 boys you're smart. Travel around the world. Try to stop the feeling.
I smoke like a chimney. I'm not skinny, and I pull a Britney, 'cause I'm too messy, and then I'm too fucking clean, and I'm too clever, and then I'm too fucking dumb.
I whine like a baby. I'm not patient, and I play some Britney, 'cause I'm too messy, and then I'm too squeaky clean, and I'm too clever, and then I'm too foolish now.
I get wet at the thought of you. Tears run down my thighs. Remembering how to use your phone gets me oh so hot.
I just smile at the thought of you. Tears fall from my eyes. Remembering how to use your phone tells me you're so smart.
And with that, I hope to never be subjected to listening to Kidz Bop ever again. Hi, welcome to Jelly TV, where I shout out a video that I think deserves some love. I recommend watching The Controversial World of Animal Crossing: New Horizons by Reminiscing with Reese. If you're familiar with the Animal Crossing series, you know there's a lot of lore, even just within its newer releases. Reese dives into all of New Horizons drama from 2020 up to its recent updates, and there is a lot to unpack. If you're curious about the never-ending rabbit hole that is a silly video game about talking animals, then you should give this video a watch. A huge thank you to Clank, Test User, Bunny, Bunzo, Karis Desarun, Half Fictional, JCap Con Leche, Kabluki Luno, Knuckleoso, Lojoy Animal, Lou, Luna Stephenson, Lychee, Mark Kent, Melted Patties, Mother of Mothman, Nighttime Coral, Ollie E, Paper Sam, Pharmamags, Pixel Puppy, Shaples, Tish_Guy, and the rest of my patrons for supporting me.
Yeah, show us that move again.